Good morning, everybody. Happy Memorial Day. Yes, technical difficulties this morning, but only because we were trying to do something extra special for you this morning. We were trying to come to you from our lanai. I know you got to see the pool a few times here recently. Oh, Eric turned off the waterfall. Yay, that way I don't have to yell. So we tried to switch from my office to use our lanai and the pool area kind of as the background, not just the intro. Just a little extra something special for you today. But whenever you try to relocate all of this technical stuff, which I have no concept of how to do, every once in a while something, an oopsie will happen. So if you were with us and it stopped and it started, whatever, we're here now. So if you're here and you're seeing me, hello, good morning to everyone. Happy Memorial Day. Memorial Day, it's kind of hard to say Happy Memorial Day, so it's like Memorial Day. We don't want to forget the reason for this holiday, which we're going to kind of get to in a few minutes as well. But we hope that anyone that may have off of work today to kind of honor Memorial Day, that you have time to enjoy your family and friends, and if you have loved ones for Memorial Day, that you're able to take a moment and reflect and appreciate them. So Rob, glad to see that you found us again. I can depend on Rob to let me know when things are working. And so yes, Rob, if you just pop back in, a little bit of a technical oopsie this morning. So glad you found us again. So good morning, everybody. Yes, I just saw Carolyn Krause watching from her new house. How are you, Carolyn? Their house is so beautiful, by the way. Oh, by the way, look, I love her little certified coffee drinker. I love your little icon or logo thing. That's wonderful. Good morning, Sydney and Valencio, Beth, Denise, Lisa. I didn't have time to say right. It's hello, good to everybody. So let me pop back through just real quick because I want you to know that I love you. So Rob and Rhonda. Jane, Lisa, Richard, Gary, good morning, Gary, Susie Q, Jane, Denise, Kim, good morning, Kim, Rob, Tammy B, good morning, Tammy, I see you tomorrow, I believe, Carolyn again, Beth Burns, good morning, Denise, Lisa, again, if I've repeated, Allie, good morning, Sydney, Rob, I think I got everybody caught up, okay, good. So we are going to try to have a little bit of a condensed one this morning because we know Pickles, good morning, Pickles and Laura, that you may have some activities or festivities or memoriams and things that you're going to be doing today. So we'll try not to make it too terribly long. We do have a few things to share with you, though. First of all, however, I don't know if you are still under your coffee, but I have both in front of me. So here we go. I have, and I couldn't find anything red, white, and blue. You would think with all the coffee mugs that I have that I would have one that's like, oh, Eric is standing by. Let me finish my coffee cup thing. Anyway, so I found one that's blue and white, kind of matches what I'm wearing in the pool behind me. So this is just my letter A. But yes, my friends, I also have Foxtails poolside. I have my Diet Coke and my koozie. Relax and stay a while, the kid will. So we have our little custom koozies here for our lanai space. So let me go to Eric because he is standing by very, very patiently.
She's not telling you that her glass is filled with red wine. So in honor of the holiday, I'm kidding. So it's red, white, and blue. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. Happy Memorial Day, everyone. Sorry about the little slip. Sorry. Glad you found us. We moved the whole thing out to here, so I messed it up. I just wanted to say I'm so sorry.
It's okay, dear. Not a problem. They all forgive you. Anyway, so if anyone's popped in, Florida man, good morning. Good morning, Richard. Hello to you as well. So we're going to go ahead and get right to it. But again, cheers to you if you're having coffee, whatever your beverage of choice is today or this morning. Cheers to you, my friends. Thank you for sharing a little bit of your mornings with us, especially today. So let me go ahead and get to what's brewing, and then we'll chat. Don't forget, though, if you have questions, start asking. Eric and I are a little bit shocked.
Out.
I know. It's like, well, so when Eric moved everything outside, it was funny because he went to go because of course, like everything is happening. The dog can't poop in the backyard, so she's got to go out to the front. And so Eric's like, well, I'll go take her. But when he walked out the door, there was a countdown and music playing. And I was like, did he already start this? Was he testing it? And so I was like peeking around going, are we live? Anyway, so just bear with us. So Memorial Day, these are our What's Brewing topics today. Memorial Day, of course, Instagram scam, and just some social media. We're going to do a little bit lighthearted today, not too much of a deep dive. But yeah, if you've got questions, as always, that's part of what we're going to do here today. Just ask me those questions. We'll see if we can get those answered. We've got an Allie's Knows Nothing. We've got lots of other fun stuff to kind of share with you, but I promise we are going to try to make it a little bit shorter. So let me find my button. So first of all, So the first thing is we're going to do our little tribute to Memorial Day. So this is just a little segment that Eric put together, a little video, and we really kind of focused on the Vietnam War, correct? And we did it right here from those who served right here in Disney's backyard. So there are, oh gosh, I don't even know how many hundreds of thousands of people that we should be, celebrating today, but we've picked a few right here from Disney's backyard. So take a minute, reflect with us, enjoy your coffee. This is about 2 minutes-ish. So about 2 minutes, let's have a little bit of a Memorial Day memoriam. Here we go. Wow, I have to tell you, that stuff gets me. I mean, I wasn't even crying a second ago. Okay, so Eric actually put that together. It's the first time I've seen it. I knew he was working on it. We talked about how, coincidentally, the second to the last serviceman that was listed was Major Marion someone. Well, Eric's dad's name was Marion, and he was a major in the Air Force. And that was not his father, but it was just funny that, Major Marion was the second to last one. And then the final one was Herbert Thompson.
Yeah.
And my dad was in the Army, and his name is Herbert Thomas Wilkins, which was, my maiden name. Anyway, Eric got all of that information from the Vietnam. Let me put you back on, babe, because you should hold on. Eric's gonna grab his mic because I want him to take some credit for that.
No, it's not credit. It's so it's a great Vietnam Veteran Memorial Fund. They do a thing called Wall of Faces, and they have a project to put pictures from every veteran that died in the Vietnam War. And so I just looked up in this area all of the names, and then I was able to find faces for all of them. And,
that's amazing.
We're struck by how, again, most of them passed away right around the time that Amy and I were born.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you think about Memorial Day means a lot to us, and it's one of those things where we wanted to do something to just take a minute to say the local, and there are so many other, as Amy said, that we could have shared.
Of course.
We picked those because it was, that's what we could find. I saw Rob mention that he served like my father, served during Vietnam, but not in Vietnam. So Rob, thank you for your service. And just hopefully today, we also debated about, we're going to do coffee time on Memorial Day, and so it's a funny holiday because it's the start of summer, and it's all of these things that are bright and happy, but we always want to take the moment to start with to remember the reason for the holiday, which is such a great sacrifice, and we just appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Thank you, dear. Yeah, it's not always about the pool parties and the barbecues. Although, I think about while my dad served a very small time in the Army, he was not a lifelong member of the military, but I think back to whenever he had time, and he worked so hard 7 days a week. I mean, I remember it vividly. Every morning I'd go to school, or every morning in the summer he'd still be gone. Every Sunday morning we'd be heading off to church, but he was at work. And but I think about some of the favorite things that he wanted to do were the cookouts. We had a pool, and he loved to have those cookouts. So for us, when we do those types of things, as I'm sure for many of you, it's not like woohoo, it's a day off and we're going to party hardy. It's kind of a moment to go, what, let's do this for those who aren't with us and who would like to be here with us and celebrate and remember. So with that, I'm going to stop crying a little bit. But yeah, so if you were like many like even my son-in-law, he's in the Army right now. He's actually heading back actually this morning. He's probably on his way back to base. So many people make that commitment and that promise to us. And thankfully not everyone has to, give their life. But so many have. And so, we definitely want to remember them. So, okay. So now, coffee. Okay. So the second part is the Instagram scam. So first of all, I love you guys. Thank you so much first of all, we noticed that someone, has done, I don't know what the official term is, but basically they've created another Heart and Home Orlando Instagram account with my photo. That stuff happens, I guess all the time, and it's not really ever happened to us so much, but we knew it was happening. So Eric has already taken measures through Instagram to let them know that that's like, I don't know what you call it, it's not a hacked account. It's something else. That's a scam. But it's really so sweet because I've had so many of you have been texting me privately saying, hey, just so you know, there's, I got this information or I got this request. So let me show you what we actually, so this is what that's incorrect the one. Yes. You'll see it says Heart and Home Orlando with an underscore there. That is not me, friends. You can see it has 0 posts and 0 followers. Not me. I have lots and lots and lots of posts. So that is not me. So if you happen to get something from them or if anything looks fishy, please feel free to report it. I know a lot of you already have, and I think that has helped because Eric said he went this morning to try to find it and it wasn't there. So I don't know if we've been able to give them the information that they need to confirm that that was not my account. So again, I apologize if anybody was confused. Obviously we didn't do it, but we appreciate you looking out for us, I guess, is really the main thing. So thank you for that.
They did take it down.
Eric said he just checked again. It looks like they took it down. But anyway, just in case, you never know, or if something else funky or wishy-washy comes up, please let us know. There's just so much craziness out there. Sometimes I don't know if it's real humans that are doing it or if it's bots or systems or whatever. But again, thank you for looking out for us and for protecting us and letting us know when you see something weird, someone trying to impersonate us. I don't know why you would want to, but anyway, so if you are interested, this is our actual social media accounts for Heart and Home Orlando, for me, for us. It is the same username on all of those platforms. So it's at Heart and Home Orlando, no underscore, no crazy anything else. And that's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Those are the 4 elements of social media that we engage in. Obviously, we're here on YouTube right now. So just in case any of that ever happens to, pop up, again, we appreciate that. So, all right, let's head to our third What's Brewing, because this one is really important to us. So, oh no, this was the wishes, but that's okay. So we did the social media. Okay, so that's all of that one. Yeah, I was thinking of the other thing, I'm talking about. Yeah. Anyway, all right, so I saw a couple of questions. Let me go through real fast because I saw somebody. So Jane, you said, do we have off from works? It's well deserved if you do. And that's very sweet, Jane. Thank you. The reality is there's good and bad when it comes to real estate. And I was very naive in the beginning. I thought, oh, this is something I can do part-time. I can kind of make my own hours, take my own days off. And I do think that that is true for many, many, many people. We just happen to be so busy, thankfully, that if we do take days off, it really just, it accumulates behind us, and then it's harder to kind of, to break through and to get yourself caught up. However, we did take off yesterday. We had the entire day. It was a Sunday. We didn't feel guilty. We did have a lovely day, a pool day. We had my daughter and son-in-law were over. We had some pool time. We had a cookout. We had then my other daughter and my other son-in-law popped over. And then our dear friends, Daryl and Jen, Javon and Jazzy came over in the evening. We had a secondary little cookout and some more pool time and great conversation. And so yesterday, honestly, I think if there was a day that we were able to decompress a little bit and escape, it was yesterday. But today, unfortunately, Eric's already had to get up super early to try to get stuff put together this morning for you guys. Once we leave here, we've actually got a new community that we're going to be doing the models of out in Apopka, a new D.R. Horton community called Wynwood. We're going to be out there today featuring the models. So we'll be doing those videos in a little bit. So yeah, work is still happening, but that's okay. I'm grateful for the work. I'm grateful to make new friends and to provide information and to service you guys and the rest of my clients. So, we did get a day off yesterday, Jane, but thank you for giving us, giving us that info. Kim, do we get the upgrade price list from you or the building site managers? Okay, Kim, this is a great question. The answer is neither. Boo. Okay. So here's the thing when it comes to, so when you say upgrades, all right, so structural options. So let's say you're going to build a house from dirt where you have the opportunity to pick those structural options. And remember, not all new construction gives you the opportunity to build from dirt. Not all new construction options give you the opportunity to pick your structurals or your design. Sometimes you can pick your design, but not the structurals. Sometimes you get to pick none of it. So it's a little bit of a wonky kind of web of crazy cuckoo stuff. But generally speaking, when it comes to getting the pricing, so the if it is a build from dirt situation, we get this structural option pricing. We can get that directly from our builder contact, whomever that site agent is that we are working with for your home purchase. But when it comes to design, unfortunately, there is not a PDF or a worksheet or a spreadsheet or anything where they're going to give you that exact pricing. It just doesn't work that way. Which is frustrating because you want to know what your end price point is going to be, right? You want to know what it's going to finally be by the time all is said and done. But unfortunately, the builders, but more importantly, the design centers just can't give you that information because it's way too complex. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of potential options and homes and kitchen configurations and floor plans and levels. So it's just way too complex. So the best thing that we can do, generally speaking, is to go by that percentage that I usually tell clients to allocate in their budget. So if you have a base price of X amount, add anywhere from 12 to 15% to give you a little bit of a buffer for those design options. And again, that's going to be adjusted based on the square footage. But when it comes to structural options, we can usually get that from the builder, site agent contact, no problem. That's easier, but design, not so much.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. Hold on, I
No,
gotta
you don't
find.
show me.
Okay.
You have a guest, and we didn't credit the guest. Maggie, come here.
Is Maggie
She's
on
over your
here?
shoulder.
Aw, Maggie, look at Maggie. Maggie,
She's hanging out.
was she on the sofa?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know she was behind me. Very sweet. Anyway, okay. So let's see. Any other questions? I think not yet. Okay, so let's kind of go back to this then. So, but yeah, so that's a really good question. That's probably one of the most frustrating things when it comes to new construction, and it's also frustrating because there is not one answer anyway. Because to give someone some specific information, it's going to have to be specific to that builder or to that community or to that lot or to that home site or that floor plan or that inventory or that quick move-in or that one that's been pre-permitted. And it's so all over the place that it's a matter of finding the community and that you want first and or the home/floor plan that you want. And then we have to go from there and see what's available. So hopefully that helped a little bit. Yes, sir?
Nothing. I'm just.
Oh, Eric's just standing here. I always think he wants to say something. Anyway, okay, so let's go to our wishes because I do want to try to let you go a little bit earlier this morning. So let's go wish. Eric's criticizing me over there.
I'm not criticizing you.
Anyway, okay, so congratulations. So we have Nick and Leslie. We are so excited. So if you saw the video that we posted on Thursday, it was a home tour, and I said that video did double duty, right? It was not only a video of the floor plan, because in that particular community, the builder did not have a furnished, decorated model of the floor plan, which, by the way, is so frustrating. When you go to a community and they've got 15 floor plans, we want 15 models, right? It's very hard to look at a piece of paper and pretend like you know how it's going to work. However, that's the way it works. But in this case, they have a beautiful home, absolutely, probably the most beautiful view of any of the homes. And that includes some of these that are like just, massively gorgeous homes on the lake. I mean, their view, it's got so much depth to it. It's not just one flat view. It really does. It's got so much depth, trees up close, and then marsh, and then lake, and then trees. And it's so full. Love it. Anyway, so that video tour we aired on Thursday. That was Nick and Leslie's home. They have now closed on it. It is officially their home. When we did the video tour, I remember we said that we did it twofold. One was so that you could see the layout of the home itself, so that if you were considering that floor plan, you'd be able to kind of see what it looks like in real scale. And then secondarily, we were doing a follow-up walkthrough for them. We had done the new homeowner orientation, noted all of the things that needed to be taken care of by the builder between that week and closing. And so, we were just doing what we do for our clients, and decided we would do a video of it as well. So it was floor plan, and it was also, me checking in on, okay, wow, this was on the list, this isn't done yet, but this is done, so that when my clients who live out of state were able to get here, just keep you in touch with your home, so you kind of know what's going on. Omar and Heidi. Okay, so this is so exciting. So the listing that we had has gone pending. Let me pull this up. Hopefully I'm pushing the right button. Cross your fingers. Yes, I did. Okay, so this is the newest listing that we had out in Davenport. It is now officially under contract, scheduled to close not the end of June, but like sort of close to the end of June. Beautiful home. I remember when we walked up, the curb appeal on this one was just so lovely. But it's a nice home, fenced in, big backyard. So that one is now under contract. So congratulations to Omar and to Heidi for that going under contract. And then where's the other wishes? How do I go back to the wishes thing? Wish detail. There it is. And of course, how could I forget? I didn't forget. So the final one is to Dawson. This is, you guys are very familiar with our family as we go through all the videos, and then our YouTube little chats with you on coffee time. But Dawson, our youngest baby, officially graduated high school. He graduated West Orange High School. Wednesday was it Wednesday? Was the official graduation. There's been a lot of pre-graduation festivities and activities over the past couple of weeks. So thank you to any of my clients who have been accommodating to that. Senior walkout was a couple weeks ago, and there's just all these other little intermittent things in there. But this is us at graduation. And yes, if you look at Eric probably more than the rest of us, you can tell that it was totally raining. So it was we didn't really get a lot of pictures. We had other family members with us. We just weren't able to stand there and take all the photos like we wanted to. But you know what? It didn't matter. He graduated. He was thrilled. So that, just from left to right, that is my oldest son, Forrest. That's me. That's my daughter, Elizabeth. And of course, that's Dawson. And then that's my other daughter, Alyssa. And then, of course, that is Eric. So that is our little nugget of a family. That's us. Now we have two more sons, our son-in-laws, and they were not in the picture. Steele was not here, but Hong was with us. He, I think, actually took the picture. So anyway, congratulations to my boy. That was definitely a wish come true for him, getting that done and out of the way. And he is off to JMU, go Dukes, in Virginia, once he heads off to college. But for right now, he's enjoying some well-deserved time off. All right. So yes. All right. We have another question. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this one up. Florida man, are builders in Horizon West still experiencing delays for windows, trusses, etc.? Have they finally caught up? That is a great question. So the actuality is those aren't as bad anymore. They're really not. We did a, there are still some delays. So nothing is going perfectly, easy and wonderful, but windows are not as big a delay. The appliances are not as big a delay. Trusses, they're pretty solid. We've had some tile roofing materials have been a little bit delayed for some people. But all in all, things are getting a little bit back to a normal build time, but it's still the permitting aspect that takes a long time. And in your case, obviously, there's elements that isn't about the building materials that's causing your delay. But yeah, so when it comes to that, the materials are getting here a little bit more efficiently. We do have some trade issues, having the actual humans to use those, use those supplies and building materials to get the home built. But it really does depend on where you are. There's some communities here and there that are going very swiftly. Waterly, again, I use that as the example for just about everything, always in a positive note. They just crank them out, and they do a great job. They retain their crews. They're a huge builder, huge community, and I don't know, sometimes that plays a part in it when you can be, a massive company. You kind of have a little bit more buying power, but they've always been that way. Like, they've always been building very, very quickly, and they are again more of an inventory builder. So yeah, they're going pretty smoothly, pretty efficiently. The build time is pretty much back to what it used to be. Keeping in mind, permitting here takes about 3 months, but you should be starting soon, my friend.
Related question.
Danny, are you seeing increased timeframes with the completion of new construction homes? Well, when you say increased timeline, so years ago, pre-COVID, I would say that it was about 9 months to build a home on average, anywhere from 7 to 9. If it was a smaller one story, it could be done in 7 months, right? If it was a larger home, may take 9. So think about this, for example. So in this area, and again, whenever I'm referencing anything, I'm really kind of referencing our Disney's backyard, right? Our Horizon West area, some elements in Claremont, some of those surrounding little nuggets. But if you think about a smaller one-story home, there's Molly walking around. That's our cat, by the way. She loves it. This is like her animal kingdom. Yeah, she loves it. Anyway, excuse me. So pre-COVID, if it was a smaller one-story home, and let's say the build time was 7 months, it took about 3 months in permitting, and really only about 4 months-ish to build the home. 2 months to kind of get it to the pre-drywall stage, and then about 2 months after that. And again, these are averages, guys. So I mean, this is all in just averages. So it was about a 7-month build time total from contract to close for a smaller one-story. Then as that home gets a little bit bigger, maybe it's a larger 2-story. Now we're talking maybe a 3,500 to a 5,000 square foot home. Then it's going to probably take a little bit more time. It's going to be, instead of just the 7 months, it could be 7, it could be 8, it could be 9. Same thing, 3 months about in the permitting time with the county. And then once you break ground, it could be another, in those cases, it was probably more like 5 to 6 months to actually physically construct the home. So right now, most builders are saying a year, but I think that they want to overpromise, underpromise and oversell, right? Is that it? Overdeliver. And that's kind of what they're doing. They're still a little bit too shy to give you a definitive confirmed date from the date that you contract. So they're still going to push it out a little bit further. And I will say it also depends on the area, because we still have some of those issues in the Ovation. Hold on, Ovation. All right, in the Ovation Village, there are still some delays out there, but generally speaking, most builders are going to tell you it's about a year, and hopefully it'll be done sooner. But we're getting a little bit closer back to normal, so that's good news. All right, so let's see. Was there another one that popped up?
Not sure.
There's a couple more in here. Okay, anyway, all right, so good. So then let's go to our let's do the what the house. Let's do what the house. Let's do what the house. What the house. Okay, so this is in Fenton, Missouri, $524,900. This, by the way, I think this is adorable. I love this. This reminds me of my granny's house. But then you go inside and then you're like, what the what? So, I mean, honestly, I like homes that are quirky and fun. But okay, so let's take a look at the front door. Look at that red. Do you see how they've purposefully, kind of made the angle weird? And then look at the bathroom. That's like a totally, Little Mermaid under the sea vibe, to a whole new level. You were totally immersed into that bathroom. But I absolutely love the character and charm of that exterior, So yeah, there's a lot of paint that could be done. You might want to renovate and update some of the things, but one of the things that you just can't really change is that just adorable exterior. I love that. That's kind of an Amy house, by the way. It reminds me of my granny's house, and Anyway, I love it. So the inside, yeah, I don't know. And is that paint? Looks like a lot of tile work in there. So that might, hello, Maggie. That might be a little bit more, a little bit more involved to really get the tile work redone. But hey, but if you're a bright and colorful person, that could just perfectly be your house, right? Awesome. I like that. I think somebody else just popped up a question, but while I look for it, let me do the Allie Knows Nothing, because I think I saw one. So let's do this one. That way I'll have a question to answer.
Why are prices so different between different neighborhoods?
I don't know why the wishes came back up. So Allie's question, why are the prices different between neighborhoods? That's a really good question. And there's several reasons for that. Okay, so let's just take one area, one little nugget, all right? So, I mean, obviously it's going to make more sense, and it's kind of commonsensical if you're like, well, why would this neighborhood in Disney's backyard be different than this one that's out in Mineola where there's no shopping or anything around it? And why would that be different than a Popka? And why would that be different than a Coe? Of course, those things kind of make sense, right? The further out you get, the prices are different. But let's talk about the same little nugget of an area. So let's talk about right here in Disney's backyard. So there could be a community that has custom builders in it, or a true semi-custom builder. And so their home prices are typically going to be more expensive because there's more customization done to them. There could be a community that has larger home sites across the board. So that community is going to be more expensive because you've got more land. You've got a more desirable home site. You've got, there's Molly, a more desirable home site, and that's gonna increase the value of the community. Maybe there's a community where there's a lot of lakefront homes and you've got riparian rights. So you have the opportunity to, not only be on the lake, but you've also got the opportunity to build a dock and have a boat and do all that. That's going to change the overall desirability of the community, which is going to increase the values within the community. There's a lot of builders that, you can say a specific builder's name and people are like, ooh, fancy, right? And because there's kind of this history or this association with, this builder is going to be super high end. I'm not going to talk about any specific builders, but I can tell you that there are builders where the community is more expensive because of the builder's name that's attached to it. And I've had nothing but issues when it comes to inspections and things like that. So I'm not going to say who those are, but I would say, if it's in the same area and there's nothing that sets that home apart from the others, then there really it should be all about the whole market value in general. But if it's in a specific area and you're talking, okay, well, this community all has larger home sites and they're on the lake and they've all got tiled roofs and they're these big mansions, and then you've got this other community over here that's more townhomes, of course those prices are going to be different. The one thing here in this area, I do like to reiterate this quite a bit, is that right here in our area in Disney's backyard, most of the communities, not all, but most of the communities have multiple series of homes within that same community. So bye. Oh, sorry, my son's saying bye, guys. Love you. Have a good day. So one of the things that you might notice is that these communities have townhomes. They also have rear entry garage style homes, and they may also have the more traditional front load garage style homes, and maybe even some of the luxury ones, maybe even nestled around a lake. Remember where we are here in Disney's backyard. Well, first of all, it's Florida, so there's water everywhere, whether it's lakes, whether it's ponds, whether it's whatever. And so there are communities. I mean, even in the community that we live in, we don't live on the water, but there's water right over there. And so those things are going to make a difference between that. I know that was a really long answer, but it was a really good question. And I think that is why it is really important to make sure that when you are working with a realtor, that realtor is well versed in that area, because they can give you an example. Well, this community is this pricing and valued at this because of this, whereas this community that's just across the street might be different, whether it's more or whether it's less. But that's a great question, Allie.
That was the question you saw popped up. And so there's a debate about who rules the house, Molly or the dogs. Oh, the dogs or Molly. Ooh, yes, Rob. I don't know. You're very attuned to, I think Molly pretty much rules it, except when Scout's here. Then she cowers. But Molly rules her own world. Yes. So she's in a different plane. Yeah. So I don't know if you can tell right now, but so we have behind us, we have a retractable screen that is down. So Molly right now is on the outside of the screen closest to the pool.
I guess we did that for lighting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It softens the light a little bit.
It softens the light. So that's why Eric put the screen down. But now, and if you remember, for those of you that have been with us for a long time, when we built the home and we didn't have the pool at first, we added this retractable screen because we wanted a way to be able to enjoy our lanai without the bugs. And we knew that eventually the pool area would be screened in, but that was going to be a year later, which obviously it was. So you're going to let her in? Okay, so he's putting up the retractable. Come on, Molly.
Come on, Molly.
Molly.
Come on, Molly.
Molly.
Come here.
Come on, baby. Anyway, so that's the retractable screen. Okay, now he's shaking the temptation treats. Anyway, okay. So, did she come in?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so now she's in. Anyway, by the way, the other night, I just have to tell you, so we kind of thought, and I'm going to go on and relate this to real estate and construction. So this retractable screen, so would we have done this had we built the home with the pool? Probably not. But I love that we have it now. We're not going to get rid of it because it's just an extra element of having the screen come down. Candidly, we don't put it down very often. But the other night, our friends Daryl and Jen popped over for a little bit, and it was raining. But we sat out here on the lanai. We lit the little fire pit that's right behind me, and we just sat out here, and it was like rain was coming down, but it was beautiful. We still had the lights on the pool and the lights hanging above the pool, and the retractable screen was nice because it just kind of kept some of the rain droplets from kind of coming in. So anyway, retractable screens I think are very, very nice. I'm glad that we have it. It is something I definitely encourage people to do. My daughter and son-in-law actually did 2 of them on their lanai. They will probably eventually do something in their backyard where they, whether they add a pool or extend and screen it in. But for now, it's very nice to be able to have that and lift it up and put it down if necessary. So anyway, okay, let me see. All right, I'm going to pop over to the, to the what I'm watching because this is kind of good. Okay, so actually I am still watching A Million Little Things. I haven't finished it yet, but okay, so this is how like non-technical I am. So we have all of these TVs. They're all smart TVs, but what I was watching was on Hulu. And I went into our bedroom to try to watch it, where I had been watching it, and for whatever reason, I couldn't get Hulu to I had to sign in again. Well, I don't know how to sign into those because I never create the accounts in the beginning, and they're all different and they're all confusing, so I can't remember. Anyway, so I was like, well, let me just find something on Netflix because Netflix is working. So I just scrolled through. This was just a documentary called Victim Suspect. And it was, it was just one thing, right? It was just one, like an hour and a half, 2 hour long documentary. But again, my taste is all over the place. In this case, though, it was very, very telling. It was essentially women, young girls, generally speaking, who had been sexually assaulted, raped, and when they went to the police to get assistance, to file a report, to get some help, they were basically, the tables turned, and then they were treated as a suspect, and they were getting them to basically confess, and it was just really, it was very, very, very telling. And anyway, I just think it was a good one. It was not like really uplifting. It wasn't lighthearted. It wasn't one that made you laugh and smile a bit. But, I think that's important for us to watch all sorts of things and learn all sorts of things and then come to our own decisions about, kind of what we think of things. But I will tell you that was absolutely fascinating. So anyway, so if you're bored and you have an hour and a half, 2 hours, and you're not looking to laugh, you can do that one. Okay. So, Julia, speaking of bugs, how is Disney's backyard on bugs and mosquitoes? Does Horizon West go to the links that Walt Disney World does to eliminate the mosquitoes? So here's the thing, in Florida, you're going to have bugs, especially if you're close to the water. You're definitely going to have some bugs and mosquitoes. I will tell you, I don't see mosquitoes nearly as often as I would expect to see them. We'd see like the little gnats, we see the love bugs. Those are the types of things that we see all the time. Wasps, bees. We get a lot of those like mud dauber thingies on the houses and things like that. But yeah, I mean, they must go to some lengths to do that. But I personally feel like, if you watched our building a pool video, we debated whether or not we wanted the pool screened in, and we wouldn't be, if the pool was not screened in, we wouldn't be doing this right now. I mean, our sliders are right in front of me. You can't see them, but my sliders to my kitchen are right here, and they're open right now. And I'm not worried about little lizards coming in for 2 reasons. Number one, we have a screen, but number two, Molly's sitting right there. And if there was a little lizard, she would find it for us, if you know what I mean. But I love this, being able to open up and just enjoy this space completely. For us to be able to do that cookout and not really worry about having to cover the food for flies and other bugs getting on it. So in answer to your question, I mean, they must be doing something, but I don't really see them. Like when I was a kid, the little mosquito truck would go by, right? And it would spray all
I've
that.
seen that truck come back on that road.
Have you? Okay. Well, Eric says he's seen it come back on the road behind us.
Oh, no, wrong one. Never mind.
No, Eric's doing something. I don't know what's he doing.
The wrong one. There's the sliders are open.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so there. That's the view.
I know you're gonna be like. There's no
I know. It's like, oh my gosh, our house is
it looks
a mess.
clean. I wouldn't have gone.
At any rate, so yeah, I guess they do do that. But yeah, as a kid, I remember it all the time. Like I remember that truck coming by all the time. But I don't really see that as much here. But obviously there are things. Speaking of that, I want to mention this just because we've been chatting a little bit about pools. This is something, if you choose to not have a screen over your pool. By the way, I completely understand that aesthetically. If you don't want it to be, you know, kind of caged in, so to speak. Also, it does block some of the UV rays, so it's not, you know, I mean, it kind of gives you a little bit of a, not shade, because the sun is still coming through and it is still hot and you can still get a sunburn. But it does filter out some of that. So if you're like, I just want it open, I want to be sitting in the sun, I just want no barrier between me and the sky. Totally understand. There are still other mechanisms that you can use as a mosquito repellent. Some clients of mine who did live on the lake, who had a pool. The pool was not covered. They did not do the screen. But on the fence that was around the perimeter of the backyard, they had it looks like a keg, and that has a mosquito repellent in it. And then there is a black tube that then is run along the exterior of that fence that has the little holes in it. And so that would basically do the same mosquito repellent. Look at this. You get the picture, right? So the mosquito repellent was still kind of going there. So it kind of helped keep theirs mosquito free, but you know, that's not going to keep all the bugs out for sure. But at any rate, there's still ways you can do that. So Lisa says, here in New Jersey, we get our yard sprayed every 3 weeks for mosquitoes and ticks. Are ticks a big problem down there? That's a really good question. I feel like we had more ticks in Virginia than we did here.
Yeah.
To be honest. I mean, as always, you know, if you have pets, you want to do the flea and tick, you know, it's not like just fleas. They want flea and tick treatments just to make sure. So yes, I'm sure absolutely if you were out in a more woodsy area, which there are some, that you're going to still have that as a problem. But just generally speaking, like I remember in Virginia, we went to a picnic once and we came back and I had a tickle in my stomach. And I'm like, I don't even know how that happened. But here, you know, we don't, what? What? Okay, hold on.
So I don't know how my shot. I moved the camera, but so we're very transparent. We very much like to share everything. I'm just laughing, and I'm like, am I going to share this? I got it this morning, and I thought that I had a tick in my belly button. It was barbecue sauce. I thought that was really stupid to share, but that's why I started laughing. And then you forced my issue. You forced me to like. I was like, what is that? And it was like hamburgers kind of thing. I was cooking out yesterday. Go away from me now, please. Go away.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to turn my mic up.
Maybe you shared too much just then.
I also didn't turn my mic up, so they couldn't hear me anyway.
Oh, that's all right. Did you hear him?
It doesn't matter. Leave it alone.
All right.
There's
okay.
here and there.
Yeah. Okay. So, hold on. Let me go back to I just scrolled. I wish you guys could see the chaos that's in front of me sometimes, although you probably would never watch me again if you did. Okay. Just trying to find there's a couple other questions and I missed them. Speaking of bugs. L. Roberts, do you know how many semi-custom builders are doing homes in Disney's backyard? No. There's really not any at the moment because most of these villages are all production builders. It used to be that there were some builders like Dreamfinders. If you look at some of my older Dreamfinders videos, I used to talk so much about how I loved that they were the most like a semi-custom builder, but a production timeline. That is no more. And a lot of builders have had to change conceptually how they build because of all of the issues that they had been dealing with, because of all of the timeline issues and the delays and the trade shortages. And even though I said earlier, we are doing better, we're kind of getting back to that new normal, but it's not it's not fluid. And so in this area, most everything is a production builder. I mean, you've got Taylor Morrison, you've got Rockwell, you've got Meritage, you've got Ashton Woods, you've got K. Avnanian, you've got, gosh, who else am I missing?
Dreamfinders.
Dreamfinders.
Dreamfinders is a good example tell them about Sue's house, where they did that thing for her and now they won't.
Well, yes, exactly. So that is a good point, because I almost hesitate to do this. So I did have a client. We're going to do a video of her house probably this weekend or early next week. They just closed like a couple weeks ago, and they were getting a little custom built in done. Now they built a floor plan again that there's not really a furnished model of. So we were going to do a video for them. And when they built their home, they were allowed to do a little addition in some kitchen cabinetry and a tray ceiling. And now that builder's like, nope, we don't do that anymore. In fact, that's why she thus far has been the longest build time. She was at 2 years from the date of contract to finally moving in. And a lot of that was COVID issues. A lot of it was the truss for the tray ceiling, because again, the framers and the truss companies were like, we're not doing any of this custom mess. We're like, we got to crank out these trusses, normal looking. Anyway, so in answer to your question, there's really not any true semi-custom builders out here. K. Hovnanian used to, on some of their luxury homes, if you needed this added, or, could you add a wet bar up here? It used to be, yes, but that was also $1 million home on the lake. But if it's like a townhome, no, they're not really making any of those custom changes. Really what we need now, if we get new construction, is a builder that lets you build from dirt, where you can pick your structurals and you can pick your design center options. That's a golden gem at the moment for new construction here. This one, Miss Arlene, happy Memorial Day, Amy and Eric Kidwell. I miss your Sunday drive. I miss your Sunday drive. It relaxes me and I look forward to it every Sunday. What happened to it yesterday? Honestly, we just didn't have time. We work really, really, really hard, and we try to put those in. But we had, again, my son's graduation earlier this week. We had our son-in-law in, and we did a family thing the following weekend. Eric is standing by because he wants to chime in. It's like I feel bad because he's standing there with the mic, and I'm like, I need to shut up now because he wants to take. No,
that's the point.
I do. I gotta know where there it is. I found it. Anyway, so there's Eric.
Okay, so I come over here, and so the point of it is that I'm here ready if you need me. It's not, I demand that you put me on.
He loves it.
No, I don't. It's not that. No, I wanted to share that. So Amy and I, at the beginning of the year, we were Sunday drives and home tours and and coffee time. We sort of said, look, we're going to do it when we can do it well. If we just have to phone it in, if we have to go do a quick drive around and then put it up, we're not going to do that because I know the Sunday drives, we share a lot of information. And it takes me probably 8 hours to edit those things, and it takes us an hour to go out and shoot them. And that's not a complaint. We love to do it. I feel bad. I'm sorry, Miss Arlene. We let you down this week. I actually drove back to Richmond with my son on Thursday and Friday, which is usually the days that we go out and do the Sunday drive, so that I can edit it on Friday and Saturday to be ready for Sunday. And so I just wasn't here. But there will be a Sunday drive this week. I promise. And I don't know where we're going yet, but we'll figure that out. So I won't be on camera anymore.
No, that's fine. Of course. No, I like the break. But yeah, that's right. I knew there was another reason. There was another logistical reason. But yeah, so as we mentioned, our youngest graduated high school on Wednesday, and our oldest son had been here from Virginia with his dog, Scout, the best dog ever. Close my dog's ears, but they didn't hear us, did they? Okay, good. But yeah, so when Forrest was here from Virginia, he was here for a week because he came in town for our Disney VIP family 30th wedding anniversary trip. And then he stayed. We kind of planned that all together so that he could stay for a week. He could be here for a VIP tour, but he could also be here for Dawson's graduation. But then right after Dawson's graduation on Wednesday, first thing Thursday morning, Eric and Forrest and the dog drove back to Virginia. And then that was a drive all day on Thursday. And then on Friday, Eric flew back, but he didn't get here until late Friday night. And then Saturday, I don't remember what was going on Saturday, but I think it was a day that we didn't have appointments or something. And so it was a day to kind of prepare for Sunday. Honestly, I don't remember. But point is, we do a lot. we don't have a lot of time, and we try to get as much done as efficiently as we can. But every once in a while, we owe it to ourselves to go, you know what? There's just not going to be one today because we got other things that are going to take precedence.
But we take it seriously, and we know that people do miss it when we don't do it. So we feel a little guilty about it. So we're sorry about this week, but I promise next week.
We love you, Miss Arlene. Next time we'll give her a shout out in the next one. Okay, I don't know where she went, but we'll give you Gary, from Poland. Are you not in Wales right now?
I guess. I don't know.
Are you in Poland?
Well, hi. How do you say hello in Polish?
Yeah, I don't know. So where are you visiting? What's going on? So let us know why you're there, because we always like to see you from Wales. So, and I don't know if you are our first listener from Poland. Perhaps, I'm not sure, but let us know why you're there. Kim, is Serenoa Lakes going to have a second phase, and if so, when? So Serenoa Lakes, if you're talking about the Pulte section back in there. They are, they've got some of those mystiques at the moment. Everything kind of changes so rapidly. I will tell you that there's a new D.R. Horton community that's popping up in Serenoa right in front of Del Webb Mineola. Not Del Webb Mineola, Palms at Serenoa is the D.R. Horton 55 plus. And right before that, there's going to be a new D.R. Horton community there in the Serenoa area. But Serenoa Lakes itself, I'm not sure how much more land
there's so many lakes.
I know there's it's like that whole area has to be nestled around the lakes and the conservation. So I think they've developed just about as much as they can in their little section. So, but not 100% sure. We can always check into that. Let's see. When building a custom home, are there areas open for construction that are not in HOA areas? There are, yeah. They're just few and far between and super expensive. I have lots of clients that would prefer, for whatever reason, there's this misconception that it's just cheaper to buy the land and build the home. And I don't necessarily think that is true. Just because the land itself is so expensive around here. And again, remember, anything I say, I'm referencing our little, Disney's backyard area. Sure. Can you go out into, rural, that's hard to say 3 times fast, area and get a piece of land, and there's really nothing around you, and maybe you can get the land for dirt cheap, and then you can build it over time if you're handy or if you hire someone that's a custom builder. But most true custom builders are going to want to make sure that it's going to be worth their while financially as well. And so they're not going to want to custom build a $200,000 home, which, by the way, $200,000 is a heck of a lot of money. But in the area that you're in, it has to be financially worthwhile for the custom builder to move all the stuff and the equipment and the builders out there in that area. So in this area, is there land? Yes, there's land that you can buy, but most of it has already been kind of purchased by the builders themselves. So if you find a random parcel that's not necessarily attached to an HOA, for instance, the home that we have on Regal that we sold, it was Downtown Dream. I have no doubt that when the homeowners get to move into the home, that they're probably going to level it and either build 2 separate homes, because remember, that was the one that was 2 particular home sites that they built one structure on, because there is no HOA there, and that's the way you could do it back in 1949 when they first bought the home. So and I actually have some clients that are going to be moving here and currently have I guess the home was the grandfather's. The home is over 100 years old, and the other homes in their area are all kind of like on their street, their neighbors, so to speak, that when people buy them, they literally just flatten the house and then they build it back up again. And I don't know how cost effective that would be in this area. I'm going back to Eric. Hold on.
So I heard, Christopher Burton, we did some home tours out in the other side of town. I heard him say to you on the subject of just, can you get a custom builder to build you a house? What he said was he's got neighborhoods that he's bought several lots in. Mm-hmm. Those he's like, I won't consider a project unless it's $3 million and up. And we said, well, would you come to Orlando and build, on one lot? And he said it would have to be like $5 million or higher, because he's got to do all that infrastructure. A lot of the savings that like a D.R. Horton or a Dream Finders or any of these production builders have is that they have all of the lots. So they have all of the equipment there. They have everything there. If you've got to bring all the infrastructure in and all that stuff, it's just really expensive. So he was like, I'd love to do it. He's like, I love to build homes, but I can't afford to do it unless it's a big number.
Yeah, if he's based out in Melbourne, or if that's where all of his construction, and again, we don't work for Represent the Builder, and that was a long time ago, and things could change, so we never want to say anything definitively. But yeah, the point is very much that where some of these custom builders are, they've got quite a few home sites. We can even use in Disney's backyard. We can use the example.
Well, let me sign off though. Reporting from 2 feet away from you, I'm Eric Kidwell. Coffee Time Live.
Lord, every day. Okay, so
I was going to do that.
Okay, well you did it, honey. So like here, there's an area, Keens Point, lovely, lovely, lovely community. And when you go in there, those are all like custom built homes, and you can still drive through there, even though there are homes that are 20 years old in there. There are still some random home sites in there that are attached to a specific builder. So the specific builder can can build on that. So, but sometimes it seems a little bit more like you'll find them in an area with a nugget of home sites, and then they like Bella Colina is another good example. Bella Colina out kind of the Claremont, Montverde area out in that direction. Some custom builders are out there and they have those home sites, but you're not going to really be able to build a $300,000 custom built home generally speaking in this area. So hopefully that helps a little bit. Point is, it has to be worth their while financially, because if it's a custom built home, they don't just hire anybody, right? It's their crew. And if they're building 2 hours away, why would they drive all the way over here for one home, unless it's going to be financially beneficial to them, which totally makes sense. All right, let me see. Any other ones? Yeah. So Quentin, have you considered outsourcing the video editing? I know a video editor wouldn't do as good a job as Eric, but it could allow you to create more content. So Quentin, here's the thing. We are, the answer is no, I wouldn't, because everything we do is authentic to us, and it's not just about video editing. It's about making sure it's in our voice. And I know that may sound a little bit weird, but if you know me, I hate like automation or anything that is not authentically real. Eric hates that about me because I don't like automated messages going to my clients. I don't like automated emails. And I know that for some people, they don't mind that. But like, for instance, today, this is why I hate it. Can I tell you why I hate it? Please. He's standing there again. Let me put him back on.
See,
no, because I want to tell you this. But this is why I hate it. And it's nothing against these companies at all. But I woke up this morning.
Oh, yeah.
And I look at my email and I have 30 different emails, all Happy Memorial Day, Happy Memorial Day. But here's the thing. And it's not that I don't appreciate them saying Happy Memorial Day. That's not it. It's that I have 10 from the same company, from just different people that I've worked with through that company, like title companies or lenders. And it's all the same thing. And it's not authentic. And it was just a computer that spit that out. And I don't feel like you really meant it. And it actually goes against the way I feel. So back to your question about the video editing. There is no one that knows me better than Eric. There is no one that knows better what I want to say and how I want to say it, or how I want it to be reflected, than Eric. I don't, even Alyssa, when Alyssa does some of the social media stuff, I don't want to hire a video content or a content person that's not doing what it is that we do. And I think a lot of that comes from, and trust me, between us, don't look at Eric, it drives him bat blank crazy, because we understand that we could do more, but it wouldn't be what we're trying to accomplish. And I think that's a big thing. Anyway, so I'm going to let Eric speak now because he's standing there. Go ahead.
I'm going to stop appearing.
No. I needed a sip of my drink.
That's right, Amy. From here on the lanai, my perspective. No, so a couple things. So Quentin, yes, absolutely, that would be cool. But one of the advantages we have business-wise is that I know how to do this stuff. This is actually the video editing is actually my job. More than anything, Amy is the expert in real estate, and she truly is. And so really, when we don't have time for content, it's mostly because we didn't have time to go shoot the content, not about the editing part. I'll get the stuff edited if I have to stay up overnight and get it edited, partly because I think we're just a little bit different in terms. So what you might not know, the backstory information about real estate is, so much of what you get fed is automate this, hire a videographer, to get other people to do all the work for you, because then you can take Sunday off and be with your friends on Memorial Day weekend, right? So that's not who Amy is in terms of dealing with her clients. She takes it very personally. We take the social media stuff very personally. We take it, we enjoy it. So the live stream, part of the reason we do the live stream is because then we're done. It's over. I still have to produce things, the night before or the day before. But that's kind of why we like that. But there are lots of great videographers out there, a lot of great editors out there, and absolutely would be cool to hire them, but then I wouldn't have a job. So, reporting live from the Lanai, I'm Eric.
I think that's all very valid. And I don't know, it's okay. So my granddaddy owned his own business. He was an electrical contractor. My dad owned his own business. He was a printer, a commercial printer. Before we had computers and printers in our office, he was a printer with a big press, right? My mom owned a dance studio. I owned a dance studio. My sister owned a business. Our whole family is just filled with entrepreneurs. And when I had my own dance studio, right? So there's this thing where when your name is on it, you just want to make sure that it's being represented in the way that is true to the way you want to run your business. And that doesn't mean it's the right way. For instance, this is totally not real estate related, but I'm very passionate about this. Like I really am. When I had my dance studio, I was not a competition studio. I did not have students where every single weekend we went to competitions where they would be critiqued and judged. I wanted dance to be an art form that they could express themselves in freely. There's nothing wrong with those studios that focus on the competitive aspect of dance. But I grew up, by the way, danced professionally, so I was pretty good at the time, right? Then, not so much anymore. But I was trained very well. I had that opportunity to go out and perform. But I wanted my students, the way my mom taught me, because she was a dance teacher, I learned from her, was that dance is an art. It's not a competitive sport. So if I had hired someone to do marketing or to do something on behalf of my business, I wanted to make sure that it would be represented in the way that my business actually truly works. So yes, I know there are other people out there that can do some of that, but I'm very, very protective of Heart and Home Orlando. And it's probably not a great thing. I'll admit it. But I do know that Eric is absolutely the best video editor for me. He's very fast. This is what he went to school to do. He did this for television stations. So I am completely grateful for him. And
Aww.
I love you, babe. Just,
until the cameras go off.
Stop it. Anyway, so I do think that's a great question, Quentin. I really, really, really do. And I appreciate that.
We had a very important comment I need to get on
Very important comment. Eric is so cool. Oh my god.
Thank you. Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, he is pretty cool. And I am very, 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 very lucky. And I've always said that, there's a lot of people that try to do what we do. Some people do it very well, very successfully. But I think a lot of people don't understand that I have someone that makes it much, much, much easier and much more cost effective. And so I appreciate you, honey.
I'm free.
Okay. All right. Anyway, I told you we were going to make it a quick one. It's already 10:05.
That's why I said, Amy said earlier, Eric's criticizing me. What I was telling her is, don't say it's going to be a short one because it's not.
Oh.
You need to do Zillow because it's timely.
Yes, I'm going to do Zillow. So let's do our Zillow house. Ready? Here we go. Okay, does this house look familiar to any of you that are of my generation? This is the Brady Bunch house, Studio City, California, 5 bedrooms, 5 baths, 5,140 square feet, 5,500,000. Lots of fives in this one. This is the Brady Bunch house that HGTV purchased, and they put it back to its original Brady Bunch charm and glory, and now it is for sale. And I believe, if I recall, Eric, you mentioned this earlier, this has something to do with they paid twice what it was worth when they bought it because Lance Bass wanted it too, and so there was a little bidding war. But if you remember this show, which I don't know how any of you can't or don't, just it's quite special. It's definitely a part of our childhood. And I think there's a picture coming up where the kids are all standing on the stairs of the newly renovated home, as opposed to the cast that you saw a minute ago back when it was on set. There it is. So really, that's pretty awesome, pretty amazing. Anyway, so if anyone is looking for, for that home, by the way, I mean, think about the architecture. I have a question though. Wasn't that just the exterior, but that wasn't the actual home, right?
Yes, they renovated it. They renovated the inside to match the sets.
Right, but because it wasn't really the same house.
There was nothing inside the house that they shot in.
Right.
In the set.
Kind of like King of Queens, where you look at the exterior shots and then you see the inside of it. You're like, that's not the same house.
The door's in the wrong place.
And the windows aren't there. It's like weird. So in this case, kind of the same thing. But anyway, so let's talk about the Brady Bunch another time, though. Somebody mentioned something a minute ago. I wanted to go to this one to Rob. Rob, you said, "Oh my God, printing can be dangerous. Some don't know the part of printing is using giant slicers to cut the paper to certain sizes." Yeah, so you're kind of back to when I was talking about my dad a minute ago. But yeah, actually, you know what? As a little kid, I would remember sometimes, like I said, he worked all the time. So sometimes on Saturdays or Sunday mornings, I'd go with him. And just kind of sit down, and I would play office worker because he had all this paper and pens and pencils and things all over the place. But I remember that slicer that you're talking about. I mean, I remember that thing going down and going, it was like angled. And I also remember I got to stitch the books, like, putting the staples in. And one of my favorite things was back when you had the little notepads that had like the red gummy on the end. Like now we have the 3M, sticky notes, but back then you didn't have sticky notes. But you would have the little notepad. So all of that scrap paper, Rob, he would then cut into smaller, little memo notebook size things. And then I would go and I would have it in the press thing. So it was all stuck together. And then I would paint on the gluey stuff. So I too worked in his office. Anyway, all right, guys. So let us get out of here. What do you say about that?
Yeah, sure.
I think I got everything right. I'm looking at my little board.
You have the I Know Secret, but we can talk about that next week.
Yeah, we'll do that one next time because we have the I Know Secret is I have a listing that'll be coming up. We'll talk about that next week. It's not on the market yet. Hey, bud, he's back. All right, guys. So as always, as we wrap this up, please remember that we appreciate you guys. We hope you do something special with your family today. If you have loved ones in the military, we hope that you take a moment to if they're still here, then wonderful, give them that moment of appreciation, but definitely, take a moment to give thanks to all of those who made the ultimate sacrifice for us. So as always, though, from us here at Heart and Home Orlando, and when I say us, I mean, me and Eric, and Allie and Forrest. Yes, absolutely. The family affair. That's it. Our own little Brady Bunch house. Please stay safe, stay well. Remember, we love you guys. Have a great Memorial Day and happy house hunting. Bye.